Yo, what's going on YouTube? How you guys doing? We are back with another gameplay review video. So today we got this beautiful Bubba, this beautiful gorgeous Bubba that we're going to be reviewing. This is killer gameplay at rank 2 and you are level 49. Looks like you're in the middle of prestiging, so you're kind of like, you know, mid prestige. So your build might not be the best. You're only level 49. You're not going to have all perks. So let's see like what you're running. It's kind of interesting. You show the start like the before game lobby. And you also kind of like go through your perks here. Like you show all your perks. And then we can also see your build. So this is kind of interesting. Like we can see what you have available, and we can see like what you choose to run based on what you have available, which I think is kind of interesting because now I can comment on this. Your add-ons already, I'm going to go ahead and say, are god tier. These are both like chili right here. Purple chili is probably Bubba's best add-on if you don't count ultra rares. Like if we just pretended the ultra rares didn't exist, because like those are weird, because I think the ultra rares might be the best when they're combined together, but like individually they might not be the best. But like if you don't count running double ultra rares together, this is individually the best add-on. Like purple chili is just nothing but amazing. It has no drawbacks. It's just fucking amazing. Depth gauge rank is also pretty good. It gives you one more charge in your chainsaw, but your chainsaw goes a little bit slower, which is kind of a bummer. Like this overall combo is good. You get 4 charges instead of 3, and each charge you can get a little bit more distance out of because of chili. So basically you cover a really long distance, and your chainsaw can go for a really long time. It's just that you do that a little bit slower. Like I prefer to run speed with chili. That way I go faster as opposed to going slower. Like I would rather go faster in a short period of time than go slower over a long period of time, if that makes sense. But this is also not bad too, and it's definitely not a bad combination to run. Your build is Undying, Haunted Ground, Lullaby, Barbecue. So just looking at your perks, I obviously think Undying is pretty good. With Lullaby is kind of like, it's kind of sketch because you lose stacks. So like if you get like 2 or 3 stacks of Lullaby and then it gets broken and like moved, you lose all your stacks and you start back at 0. So it's really not great. I mean, it's pretty good with Haunted Ground. I mean, like, obviously that's a pretty okay combo. I mean, you're running Barbecue for blood points. I will say that I think you might have, I at least saw Infectious Fright. Let me back it up a minute to go to your other page. Wait a minute, where are we? Like right off the bat, I'm not seeing anything on this page that's too big of a deal. I would absolutely be running Infectious Fright though. I would 1,000,000% be running this perk. This perk is very, especially with your add-ons that you're running. Like you're running add-ons that are basically like, hey man, I'm gonna chainsaw literally forever. Infinite chainsaw essentially is what you're doing. So like if you down someone right away, you can possibly see someone with Infectious, chainsaw over them. You can definitely get a lot of value out of Infectious in this build. I would at least replace Lullaby with it. Like honestly, it wouldn't be crazy of you to just keep these 2 alone and then take this and replace it. That wouldn't be bad. Honestly, your perks are really not great. Like Pop Goes the Weasel 1 is an option because you're not running Ruin. I mean, it's not a great option, but it's an option. I mean, as much as I hate to say it, Noed's kind of an option. Like you have some options that aren't quite the build you're running. I don't really like this build, to be honest with you. Like I already don't like it. It's kind of bad. Like you're basically only going to get value out of Lullaby. Well, you know, I guess it's not terrible because if you do start to get stacks on Lullaby and then they find a totem, it's only a 1 in 4 chance that they find Lullaby. You know, it's a 2 in 4 chance, a 1 in 2 chance that they break Haunted Ground, which is then good. So I guess I see what you're going for. I feel like the idea is to stack this up, and then when they go to break it, you hopefully get them with Haunted Ground and then move on. All right, I've been talking about this build way too long. Let's actually go into the gameplay. All right, so you got Family Residence. Family Residence, which isn't a great map, but not a terrible map either. The length of this video makes me concerned, to be honest with you. I can't help but notice it's a 9-minute video. Can't help but be a little bit concerned. Gonna be honest with you. All right, the volume's already up at the max. Okay, this. I can already tell that this might be where things go bad, is not being able to find anybody early. You're kind of wandering around. You're on a controller, which is interesting. Oh, all right. I mean, you found someone. That was decently quick. All right. You're revving your saw. I mean, this isn't bad play as long as you use your stacks right. Okay, you're kind of using your stack. Pretty good. I mean, not bad. Like, you could have hugged that wall a little bit better, but it is kind of complicated to do. It's a little bit difficult. You just go for the M1 here, which isn't a terrible idea because your chainsaw was still charging up quite a bit. You should still be using your chainsaw here. You should still be putting her in the predicament where she has to... Okay, there you go. Good. Yeah, good. Perfect. Perfect. You're playing this perfectly. She might throw the pallet here, and she didn't. See, that's fine. Like, in that situation, she dead hards, but you kill her anyway. That's fine. You lose a gen because they must have spawned on it, but that's okay. You played that perfectly. I'm just going to back it up, and I'm just going to talk about it for a minute. So, like, your first initial chainsaw was pretty good. It's kind of sketchy, like trying to make sure you don't bump into walls. So I think you did a pretty good overall job. But I thought you were going to make a mistake here. I'm going to be honest. I thought you were going to make a mistake here by not using your chainsaw. It would be a very common mistake to not use your chainsaw here because she's already injured. But this is really smart of you, because what this does is it puts her in a position where now, like, you just like, and also you don't care about the pallet at all. You go right through the pallet, which is really smart. So now you put her in this position, right, where you're catching up to her, and she's in this position where she's like, oh shit, dude, oh shit, do I drop this pallet? Like, do I drop this, or do I just keep running? And then if she keeps running, you can just chainsaw after that bitch and catch her. But then if she drops the pallet, then you insta break the pallet, and you're like right back on her ass. Like, she gets like no distance. She opts to not drop the pallet and try to rely on her dead hard, and then you take advantage. So you played that perfectly. That's like perfect bubble play. You really can't get much better than that. You did lose a gen in the process, though, which kind of sucks, but what are you going to do? It's the early game. You always lose gens in the early game, you know? It's not really anything to get upset about. It happens. All right, there was a dude over there in the middle of nowhere. You saw a guy on a gen down here, and you saw a dude wandering over here. Go get the guy on the gen. Yeah, there you go. Pressure the gens. Right. I saw the crow fly. You see the dude back there. So I've been a little bit early, but I still think you're doing okay. Right, you're using charges. He throws it. See, like, even right there when she throws it, you are so close to her. That's why Bubba's so insane right now. Like, even if they do throw the pallet, you're just right on their ass. Let's see if the same thing happens here. Yep, break it, but now you gotta wait for your charges back, but you do break it. You're gonna stay on her. All right, get the M1. Okay, good. That unhook did happen right to your right. I don't know if you want to go back. Oh, and you are. Okay. Man, you're like in my brain. I feel like everything I think of, you're already doing. These guys did get the heal off, though. Hey, there's Feng again. This is the same Feng, which is kind of sketchy. She might have DS. Didn't throw the pallet again. Oh, okay, right there. What you should have did. What you should have did right there, or what you could have done. Let me talk about something that you can do with Bubba, okay? Because this was like a short side, okay. Like, let me try to explain exactly what I'm talking about. Let me maybe back it up a little bit to help me out here. Okay, so this pallet, just to explain, we can kind of get a good view here. The pallet is right here, right? There's like a long ass log right here, and then a short ass part of rocks. So like it's like the angle is kind of weird because we're closer to this and this is farther away. But like if this was right in front of us, basically the pallet would be like this, and then one side would be kind of small, and then one side would be really long, right? There's like a small side and a big side, right? And this is the small side. This rock is pretty small, right? And the fact that she loops this means that you can mind game it. Like right now, the fact that you're coming at her with a chainsaw, this bitch is terrified. She's like, oh God, I am concerned. I am concerned. This guy's got a chainsaw. Like, she's gonna be fucking scared. So like right here, you can literally moonwalk around. Like, you can turn your dude around and moonwalk and go the other way, because she is almost surely gonna drop this pallet. Like, unless her reaction speed and her, like, I don't know, just balls. Like, unless she just has like the biggest balls in the world, if you time this right, you can basically just you can bait her into dropping this pallet and then double back to the other side and catch her at the other side. That's kind of the thing about Bubba that's so cool, is that while you're using your chainsaw, you're essentially like, you can do the same mind games that you would do normally, but you do it so much faster, and you're more intimidating because if they fuck up, they get one shot down. So they're more like incentivized to drop pallets because they're scared of getting chainsawed. So you could have doubled back here and try to hit him on the other side. Just gonna throw it out there as an option. I'm not even positive it would have worked. There is a chance that it wouldn't have worked. I like the little moonwalk you did there. At any rate, like, you are eliminating pallets hella fast. This one too, dude, just deleting pallets. Literally just deleting them. Why is there so many pallets, dude? What the fuck is going on? Oh, and then you collide with that. That's really bad. Bro, I cannot believe how many pallets there are. That is, you just broke 3 in like a matter of like 10 seconds, and then there was still a 4th. Oh no, don't get lost. No. Oh man, that's really bad. You have no pressure right now. And these guys are slamming gens, my lord. And there goes well, you got Haunted Ground up for a little bit, so that's okay. You can make a little bit of use of that maybe. You did not bait that far enough. Well, maybe you just didn't think they were in there. Okay, they're on the back. Good, good, good. You're on their ass. It's a little bit like the video is a little bit pixelated, so I can't quite see. Okay, down her. You should definitely be slugging. Yeah, definitely slug. Good, good, good. Yes, stay on. No. Oh, she kept going forward. Oh man, you could have got good value out of that. You still have so much time left on Haunted Ground. This is actually a real shame here. This is a real shame. You have so much time left here. Like it's so like it was still like half the duration was still up, and you're kind of just like you had an opportunity to slug, but then you just kind of didn't. And now all three of them were on a gen over there, which is kind of a shame. Ah, man, like you like losing the scratch marks on that guy might not have seemed like a big deal, but that was actually a pretty big deal. You're revving this chainsaw really early. What are you trying to do here? That was a little too early. Like, I don't really know what you were trying to accomplish with that. You kind of just wasted charges doing nothing. Even this, like, you could have gotten closer to her. Okay. Yeah, because she's going to make that now. Okay. Let me back it up quite a bit because there was quite a few mistakes here. All right, so I'm just going to back it up to here where your totem just got destroyed for Haunted Ground and you were chasing down this what looks to be like a Claudette. And like this is like golden opportunity right here. Like this is like, dude, like you turn the corner with Haunted Ground and you see a survivor about to fucking medium vault the window and then another survivor really close by that's running away. And this is like heaven, dude. There's like rays of light shining down from the sky and there's like angels going, you know, like that's kind of the situation that's going on right now. You down this Nia, all you gotta do is keep an eye on this Claudette. That's all you gotta do. You just gotta see where she goes. You like can see the scratch marks going up this way. I'm not really sure like why you commit so hard the other direction. Like you see like a couple scratch marks in the ground beside you, but like that's that's just kind of there. Like there wasn't really any like leading this way. So like that was really bad tracking. And on top of that though, like this like little stutter that you did where you kind of like backed up and then kind of like you shouldn't have did this at all. You should have just held W. But even here, you should have kept chasing this. You should have kept going. You absolutely should have left her on the ground. Like you only have 2 gens left and you only have 1 hook total in the whole game. Like you really need to start snowballing pressure. So it would have been really good to down him and then chase the other guy and get multiple downs. If you can get multiple downs, like say you catch this guy and then you have 2 people slugged, right? Like say this guy is also slugged. Oh God, I'm also slugged. Then both of these 2 guys need to get the fuck off gens because like their team is in danger, right? Like they need to get the hell off gens and make sure that they don't get 4-man slugged, which gets them off of gens, which helps you not lose these last 2 gens, right? You definitely needed to slug here. Absolutely. And you didn't. You kind of just let that guy run across the map. You went back to hook this guy, which gives them all the time in the world to do gens, which I think they're currently working on. On top of that, your Haunted Ground, like that's kind of the point of Haunted Ground, is like you need to get as much value out of that as you can. You know what I mean? Like this lasts for a certain amount of time and then it goes away. So while this is active, you really want to get as much value out of it as you can. And you had an opportunity to get multiple downs with it, and instead you just got 1 and then basically gave up on it. Like you just let the guy run miles away and now it's like running out. So that was bad. This is weird. I don't really know what you were trying to do here. I guess you maybe thought that they were like, I think you thought they were going to try to play that window. And it almost worked. Honestly, if you would have like, I think you saw her too late. But if you would have seen her sooner, you still had 2 charges. But I think you saw her too late. And I don't blame you for this. I probably wouldn't have seen her in time either. Like, I think that was more just unlucky than anything. But I will say right here, this is a big mistake. Like where you pull out your chainsaw here is a big mistake. You see how much distance she has on you? Like she has like, I don't know, 6 meters maybe. Like she has like some distance on you. You know what I mean? And you pull out your chainsaw right now, which is bad. Because when you're holding your chainsaw, you go slower. I'm pretty sure Bubba goes the speed that Billy goes, right? 3.68. I think Bubba goes 3.68 meters a second, whereas this survivor is running 4.0 meters per second. So she's actually like getting some distance on you right now. And on top of that, the way that Bubba's chainsaw works is first off, you're running the add-on that makes you slower. So with that add-on, your chainsaw goes something like 5.0. but like your 3.68 doesn't just immediately turn into 5.0. It does it gradually, right? Like it gradually over the first charge does it. Like it slowly builds up, and it takes about a full second to get the 5.0. So like basically you revving early gives her distance, and then also it takes like a whole you have to fill up this charge bar, and then you gotta wait like a second after you fill that charge bar before you start making up any distance. Whereas if you would have just not started chainsawing yet, you could have just chased her down and got closer before you even started chainsawing. Like it takes so long before for you to even start getting distance. Like right now you just now started getting distance, and like look at how far she got, and then she makes the window. And then you're left with no power, and then you bump into a wall too, which is extra bad because now you're going into a huge cooldown because you used all your charges, so you're in like a massive cooldown. And yeah, like that was an opportunity to get it down right there, and you kind of just like honestly you came up on this gen with all 3 people here, and now you're leaving without even a chase. Like not only did you not get it down, you didn't even get a hit. You don't even have a chase. Like you're kind of just wandering right now. This was like a really important stage of the game for you to keep up map pressure, and you're kind of just like wandering around doing nothing, you know? There are scratch marks below you. Okay, you see her now. She's running away. She was greedy, and she wanted the gens, so that's not bad. You're gonna find her here. That gen's gonna pop though, which is a shame. And I also think they might be on a gen across the map too. I think it might be too late for you, which is a shame because like I don't think you played that bad, but these survivors definitely played really heckin' well. Like this one isn't bad because you could at least force a pallet. Like that, like I don't think that was a bad time to chainsaw, because like where you were in that tile means that at the worst you get a pallet, at best you get a chainsaw. Even right here, like I'm surprised you're not really trying any mind games. Like I'm really surprised, especially with these like LOS blockers. Like you have to realize that like you can play with your chainsaw the exact same way that you would play without a chainsaw, right? Like for instance, right here, it wouldn't be crazy for you to now turn around and like moonwalk backwards, right? Like you can moonwalk back to the pallet with the chainsaw, but just make sure that like it's something you have to practice, because you moonwalk and then you have to turn around. But when you turn around, you got to also make sure that you don't bump into this wall. But you can literally moonwalk backwards, and you can even turn this way if you want to like avoid looking at the wall. And you can basically moonwalk back and then turn back into the pallet. You know, you could do like the same kind of like moonwalk mind games that you would normally do, but with your chainsaw out. Like your chainsaw lasts so long and you're going so fast that all the mind games that you would normally do as a killer are still there. They're just better. They're just better because you're faster. All right, she's running away. She ran past the totems. You can see her aura. Again, this chase is lasting a long time, and these guys are probably across the map doing gens. Yep, that one's done. That gen right to your left is like 99% too, so this game's pretty much over. You finally settle for an M1. And where's she going? Looks like you're gonna be able to down her now, because you used up pretty much everyone, unless she has dead hard. There's still a pallet over there, I think, right? No dead hard, you down her. Yeah, I mean, there's not really much you can do now. Like this game's kind of a lost cause at this point. You can hook her. That gen across the map is like done. I mean, I don't think they finished that gen. I think they finished that one. So yeah, they had time to do two different gens, which is kind of a shame. So you're gonna hook her, and honestly, I will say, I feel like a lot of these games that I'm reviewing are just a case of like the survivors actually being really efficient and like getting shit done. Like these survivors did not mess around, dude. They were as the DVD killer community would call, dirty, filthy gen rushers. Dirty, filthy, disgusting gen rushers. Okay, you get him at the hook though. This is pretty good. You might be able to follow this up. No, you failed your last thing. Oh, you missed your last stack. Whoa, that bush, that like shrubbery right outside of that thing was weird. I don't know if I like you committing to this. I actually don't like you committing to this, because she might have DS. And if she DS's you, they might pick up that other guy while she's DSing you. She didn't DS you. Okay. That was still really risky though, because there was a pretty good chance that she has DS. And then if she DS's you, while you're stunned, this guy could be picking up that guy, and then you might end up turning this like potential 1 kill into a 0 kill. I would have honestly let her go the second that the chainsaw ended, and I would have went right back for the dude on the ground and just hooked him. To be honest, that's what I would have did, because a DS right there would have taken away even the 1 kill that you would have gotten. It would have just gave you nothing. Oh, you see the Claudette here? See, like, you see how you kind of mind game that? Like, you could have even went like a couple steps further with that. Like, you can just do mind games with your chainsaw out, you know? See, the like the fucking depth gauge rig, man, you go so slow. You still end up getting this guy. That dude leaves. There's no way this last guy's gonna be able to save, so I'm pretty sure he's just gonna leave too. He healed somewhere. There's no way this guy goes for a save. There's no way. Not against Bubba. Not like 1 versus 1 against the Bubba. There's literally no way he goes for a save, right? Unless he literally just wants to suicide, then I'm pretty sure this is gonna end right here with this guy being dead, right? Yep. And that's it. And that's it. GG's. Let me see like ranks and stuff. Can we see? This map is too big for Bubba's skinny legs. All right, well, we don't see ranks or anything, but that's okay. This match was rough, dude. Honestly, like, I feel like this has been happening a lot lately in like the gameplay reviews I do, where you guys aren't really playing that bad. It's just that you guys are getting really good teams. Like, this team of survivors is good. Like, they're efficient in the way that they do gens. They're like not like throwing games really hard like most random groups of survivors do. Like they play pretty well together, right? Like they do a good job of at least doing gens. And you definitely did throw the game a few times. Like, these guys are good, but they're not unbeatable. Like, these guys definitely are not unbeatable by any means. Like, they're not that good in chase. Like, I mean, hell, like this fucking mistake, like, again, like this mistake right here is like, this is, you could have easily taken advantage of this. Like, that's kind of the problem, though. That's kind of the issue, is that when you're playing killer against a group of survivors that are really efficient, like if you're playing against a group who actually like does gens all the time, like when they should be, and they're not just walking around and dicking around and doing nothing, you know, aka gen rushers, if like if that's what you want to call them. If you're going against a team of good, efficient survivors, you absolute need to play efficient back. And like this right here is not efficient. Like this right here, where you down this guy and then you have your perk still up and you could have chased this guy, but you don't, and you just give up on him. This is basically like the survivor equivalent of the second somebody gets down, all 3 teammates get off gens and start crouch walking around the hook, and no one's working on gens, right? Like, that's essentially what this is the equivalent of, which sounds like a pretty ridiculous comparison, but that's really what it is. Like, you had a really efficient play here that you could have taken, but instead you didn't, and you like let her go, and then this ended up being a thing. And then after this, like even after this, when you came down here, like you just, I don't know, man, like this whole thing was just really bad. Like, you showed up chainsawing, which this was kind of like, this was a risky play, but I didn't hate it. Like, you didn't really have any information that told you that this was a good play to do. So it's kind of risky, but you didn't really lose much from it. But then again, like right here, like you could have saved your chainsaw. If you would have saved your chainsaw until you were closer, you could have like made a play on this window maybe, but you didn't. And then you also bump into the wall here, which then slows you down even more and gives you a ton of distance. And then you kind of like, you literally just wander around for a while. Like, this is also really fucking bad. Like, the fact that you like messed up that chainsaw, bumped into the wall, lost track of the dude. And like right now, like this whole like 20-30 seconds right now, there's no pressure on anybody, dude. Like, everyone is just free to do whatever the hell they want right now. Like, no one has any pressure whatsoever. The people across the map are probably doing gens. Like, no one's downed over here or anything to get them off the gen. They're just freely working on gens, right? If you get a team of efficient survivors like this, you need to be efficient back. This is not efficient, you know? You're taking way too long to get downs. You're taking way too long to get anything done. The whole time you're doing it, they're like working on gens, and it ends up not being great. And even like, man, like even again, like I still feel like there's some missed opportunities too. Like, for instance, like this pallet, I think was a good opportunity to like get a chainsaw. Like, you could have mind gamed it. You could have like doubled back. You could have moonwalked. You could have like tried something other than just holding W here. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, holding W almost landed. And maybe if you had like your 4 stacks, maybe it would have. I don't, wait, did you have 4 stacks? I don't think you did. I think you only had 3, right? Yeah, you only had 3 going into this. So like, maybe if you had your 4 stacks, maybe this would have landed, and if you had 4 instead of 3. But even still, like, you have opportunities to go for mind games and try to make plays happen, but you kind of just don't, you know? You don't really take advantage of the opportunities that you have to make the plays. Like, this is a high wall pallet loop that you could have used to make plays, and then you didn't. Yeah, and then you take so long to downer that, like, by the time you do, the gen's already done, and then at that point, the game's over. Like, by this point, the game's already over. Like, you kind of salvage it the best you can. I can't really say anything bad about your post-game play, like your end game. You pretty much play this the best you can, but honestly, dude, Like, this is really a shame because I do think you played this relatively well, and I can tell that you generally have a good grasp on the game. Like, you definitely have a good idea how to play Bubba. Like, all your Bubba plays, like here, you played this really well. I like the way that you play pallets with Bubba. Like, it's very clear that you know, the strategy of basically rev your saw at every pallet and then put them in a position where they either sacrifice the pallet or get chainsawed. Like, that is like the best way to play Bubba. Absolutely. Like, that is absolutely the best way to play him. And the fact that you kind of already have that down pat is really good. Like, that is really, really good. So kudos to that. I will also say that your build did you no fucking favors here. Your build did you no favors. Your lullaby has essentially seemed non-existent. Like, it didn't seem like anyone really failed skill checks that much. So your lullaby seemed basically non-existent. Like, barbecue is okay. Haunted Ground got activated once, and then you didn't even really take good advantage of it. You got one down with it when you could have gotten more. So your build really didn't do you any favors, which, I mean, there's not really much you can do about that because you're just low level right now. But this was a 100% winnable game. This was 100% winnable. This was even 4Kable. This is 100% 4Kable. I think after you hook this guy, the mid game was really unfortunate. Like, the mid game was really unfortunate because they kind of just sacrificed a bunch of pallets. But like, here's the thing. This is like another thing I want to say. Like, this mid game was like really unfortunate because this Feng that you chase, I think it was this Feng, or was it this? Who even is this? Zarina? It might have been this Zarina. Whoever you chased in like the mid game. Just threw no. Yeah, you end up dropping from that Zarina, and then you end up finding the Feng again. This Feng throws like every pallet. Like, she just starts throwing pallets. This was also an opportunity to get a hit here that you didn't take, but that's okay. She just starts throwing pallets though. And this is like a good thing and a bad thing, because it's a bad thing because you're not actually getting a down, so you're not getting people off of gens right now. Like, everyone is still free to do gens, but at the same time, you're setting yourself up for a future snowball, right? Like, this, like eliminating all these pallets makes it so that later on, like, whenever you have an opportunity to start snowballing, it's so much easier to get the snowball rolling because they have like nothing to use. So you got rid of like 3 pallets there, and you could have got rid of that 4th one too. Like, if you didn't bump into that wall, I mean, obviously bumping into the wall is a mistake. I don't really need to point that out. But hypothetically, if you would have got that pallet down too and got that one broken, then that would have led to this opportunity over here being even better, right? Like, you getting rid of all those pallets in the mid game is a good investment, so that when a situation like this arises, and this Claudette is literally running right to the area where you got rid of all those pallets. Like, she's essentially running into a gigantic fucking dead zone. That is a free kill now. Like, had those pallets not got destroyed in the mid game, this might not have been a free kill. Like, she might have gotten out there and made it to a bunch of pallets, and she might have been safe. But the fact that you took that time to break all those pallets in the mid game means that this Claudette is now a free kill, which makes this even more of like a correct play that you should have made. Like, this whole game basically set up for this play. Like, this is the play that the entire game set up for, and it just didn't happen. And then you're just like, nah, I'm not gonna bother making the play. Fuck it. Then you end up hooking this guy, you know? And honestly, like, that was really, like, I know I'm putting a lot of emphasis on this, but I think that was the major game throw. I mean, I do think that you like also played it pretty bad once you came over here and you kind of took forever to get it down. But like, honestly, the taking forever to get it down was definitely not played great, but I don't think it was terrible either. Like, I can tell you're still like, I can tell you know what you're doing. Like, okay, here's what I see about your skill level. You know what you're doing. You're just getting like practice at doing it, I think, is what it is. I think you're kind of just feeling things out. You're kind of like getting the muscle memory. You're kind of feeling out like how like what all you can get away with your chainsaw and what you can't get away with. And I think once you actually get like once you feel it out a little bit more and you get a little bit more experience, I think you're going to be really good, because I can tell that you kind of get a general feel for what to do. There is some strategy though. Like, I do think you need to take advantage of slugging. I think Infectious Fright would help you a lot. I think you should absolutely start running Infectious Fright if you have it. I think it'll help you a lot. I think you should look into slugging and start practicing slugging and like knowing when to slug and when not to slug, because that definitely can make a difference. Like, especially when you get good teams like this. Like, I hate to say this. I hate to like say this because I feel like this might, I don't know. You know what? I'm just going to say it. If you're playing a good team of survivors, like if you're playing a team of survivors like this that know how to like get shit done, like a really efficient group, you need to slug. You literally need to slug to not lose. Like if you want to, well, I shouldn't say to not lose, but if you want a 4K, if you want to 4K a group of survivors who like know what they're doing and actually do gens, you absolutely must slug. I don't think you'll be able to do it without slugging. Unless they like throw insanely hard, you're not gonna be able to do it without slugging. Like it's literally that important. Like it saves so much time. It helps you snowball pressure so much. It's so fucking important. So I would highly recommend it. As a matter of fact, I'll even link a video in the description of this. I made a video for mat pressure like years ago, and it's still really relevant. And a big part I talk about in the mat pressure video is slugging. And you can watch that, and maybe it'll give you a better idea of when to do it and when not to do it. But it's absolutely something that you should practice and look into, like getting better at knowing when to do it and when not to do it. I'm gonna stop now though, because if not, I'm gonna keep ranting about the same things over and over again. So thank you so much for submitting. I really enjoyed doing this. Reviewing these games is always fun to do. If you guys want to submit your own footage, I have a channel in my Discord dedicated to this called Gameplay Review Submissions. Feel free to join my Discord and submit a video. Keep in mind, I will not review 4Ks. If you submit a 4K, we're probably just gonna delete your message and not have the video in there. I will only review videos that aren't 4Ks because I'm not gonna let my channel be a place where people flex their best games. I've had a lot of people try, it's not happening. So feel free to drop a video in there if you guys want it reviewed. As long as it's not a 4K, I will definitely consider it. Thank you guys for watching. Leave the video a like, sub to the channel as well if you guys want. And I hope you guys have an awesome rest of your night. I'm getting out of here. See ya. Take care. See ya. I'm out of here. See ya. See you later. See ya.